buckle up, because it's going to be a long ride. It's going to be a wild ride. Nobody cares, but we're going to tell you anyways. This is Popcorn Chats.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Popcorn Chats. I'm MICHAE.
And I'm Katie.
And we are back with a Drunk Disney. It has been a hot second since we've had a Drunk Disney episode. They are Popcorn Chats' kind of signature thing on here, but we have been having a break from them because we've been having so much new Euphoria content that we haven't had time for a Drunk Disney in a while. We're back, and I'm so excited to be back with it.
Me too. I'm excited. I'm sad that you are not on my level, but you always rise to my level. We've said this before.
I do.
So
yeah,
hopefully just because we're not in the same place, that doesn't affect it. But
yeah,
I'm
ready.
Toasted. I took a little, since I'm in California, everyone, it's legal to do this. I took a little, I have marijuana and alcohol affecting my brain right now. So I will bring the silliness.
Yeah.
Michaela is unwell.
I am unwell. My mom had a cold over the weekend, and now she has so gracefully passed it on to me. Thanks so much. Shout out, Mary. Yeah, I'm not feeling good, and I don't have all of my medicine expired in 2020 because it's been literally forever since I've had a cold. So then when I needed medicine this morning, I don't have any. I'm going to run out and get some. My boss, luckily after our one-on-one today, he was like, "You look like you need rest." He's like, "I'm not trying to be rude." He's like, "You just look like you need rest." So I ended up taking the last hour off of my day and taking a nap before this. So I'm refreshed. It's mostly my throat is on fucking fire. So I'm going to be drinking a lot, and I might have to pop in a piece of gum to keep my throat from getting dry. But I'm
need
very
a lozenge.
excited. I don't have any of those once again. So I'm making up a little list of things, and I'm hoping I can just run out to Woodman's super fast after this and get some stuff. Also, strangely, I want Go-Gurts. Go-Gurts sound really good right now. I think just because they're really cold.
Good for you for checking the expiration date. I definitely would have popped that shit, and then I would have been, you might have been feeling a little better and also high off your ass for Drunk Disney. So,
so yeah,
it could have worked, but you're smarter than me.
So I am not drinking, but as Katie said, I do really feed off of Katie's vibe. So if Katie's vibing, I'm good. And also this movie had me so fucking jazzed. I'm so excited to talk about it.
Oh my god, I watched this last night and I cried multiple times because it's just so good. And it's not even nostalgia, it's just genuinely a good film.
Yeah, it is. It is just genuinely good.
What? Okay, let's check in. I just had a little short circuit moment there. Do you see Timmy in my background?
I do see him back there. Hello, Timmy.
He wanted to be a part of the show. He wanted to be a part of the show today.
I fear that my new birthday present for you won't top last year's in the Timmy pillow, but I couldn't top it. Yeah.
He's an incredible addition to this very female-dominated household. He is definitely a very masculine presence, but he doesn't provide any toxicity. I love him so much. Mm-hmm. Thank you for providing me with him in
You're
my life.
welcome.
If you don't know what we're talking about because you're listening to audio only, sorry about it. You should also watch on YouTube so we get more moolah. Okay, check in. What's up, babe?
I'm trying to figure out how the fuck I think I only have one song left to rank and I have 2 spots. Check in. We're good. I don't really have much to report outside of me just being unwell on this Monday night. I'm excited for the Bachelor finale tonight because I think this man is literal garbage. I hate this man. But I'm excited to watch the drama unfold. I don't watch The Bachelor for The Bachelor. I watch it for the women and for the drama.
Yes.
And in this case, the women just deserve so much better than this crusty ass basic white boy. And I hate him. And I can't wait to see him get owned by all of these women tonight. I hope they just tear him to absolute shreds. And I can't wait to watch him be torn to shreds on Twitter as well.
Yeah, I have stopped watching since you and I parted ways when I moved here, but I've been seeing a lot of stuff. He was on a podcast and he was saying no one actually knows what the definition of gaslighting is, and people use that term so loosely now, and it's bitch, it's just because we all recognize when it's happening to us.
Yeah.
A, and B, this is a bad look. No offense for you being don't use the word gaslight, especially when it applies to me. It's bitch, you're trying to gaslight us for gaslighting, for calling you out for for gaslighting us.
And the thing is that I remember when everyone was calling out Greg, or not like everyone, I'd say like half of the people watching were calling out Greg, and like half the people were calling out Katie back in that situation. And genuinely, like watching that back, even though I still like Greg, I really don't think that that was like an instance of this, but it truly was the other night. Like he genuinely told her, I slept with both women and I love both women, and then somehow turned it around to where she was apologizing to him that she was leaving. And it's like, and he was such a dick to her. He like wouldn't even talk to her. He was like storming around being like, well then I have nothing to say to you. Like, I can't believe that you did this to me. Like, he was just being so fucking disgusting. I was like, Katie, if you and I were together right now, we would literally be throwing shit at the TV. Like, this man is just so absolutely nasty and icky. Yeah, I hope none of them end up with him, and I hope he ends up single and back on Hinge or whatever dating app everyone said they saw him on before this show. So anyways, that's my check-in. How are you doing?
I'm good. Today is my last day being 24. Tomorrow I turn 25. I'm halfway to 50. I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. I'm excited for my birthday. I'm excited to get my free Starbucks drink.
LYLAS, it's the small things to look forward to.
And I have a documentary short coming out in the next couple weeks about being 24. It's called The 24th Year.
LYLAS.
And my 24th year on this planet, if you don't know, was crazy and turbulent and tumultuous and probably the most like transformative year of my life. And so I'm making a documentary about it, and you should watch it. It'll be linked in the description of this episode when it's out. It probably won't be out as soon as this episode comes out, but y'all don't care. It's fine. I'll post about it. Don't worry. Y'all will see it if you want to see it. I'll make it very difficult not to. Yeah, I'm just feeling very grateful, trying to be present in my current life state. I feel like I sound so stupid right now. LA's changed me. I genuinely do feel very grateful for this past year of my life, and I'm excited to see what's to come being a 25-year-old lady.
Yay.
I don't think I have a whole lot else to check in about. I do have a funny LA story if anybody wants to hear it. I was going grocery shopping at the local grocer. I was like getting my little cart ready to go in, and this woman comes up to me and she's like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. And I was like, who are you? Like, I don't know. She just like approached me and was like, here's the plan. And I'm like, all right, I'm down for a plan. What's up? And she was like, we're going to go in. I have $90 worth of food stamps. We're going to go in. You're going to buy your groceries, and I'm going to get my groceries, and I'll buy your groceries for you. And then you give me $45. And I was like, okay, like, I guess that makes sense. I was like, do you have Venmo? Because I don't have $45 in cash. And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, well, then I don't know how we're going to do this because I don't have $45 in cash. And she was like, do you have any cash? And I was like, I have $2. So I gave her my $2. She was like, God bless you. And I said, God bless you too. And that was it. And I have interactions like that, I swear to God, every time I leave my apartment. I don't know what it is about me, but I just attract weird ass interactions like that. I think maybe it's because I just look approachable and kind of like a pushover.
You are very approachable.
I was down to help her out and do that, but I was like, I don't carry cash because I just don't. And so if you don't have Venmo, I can't help you. I gave her my $2. She was like, I need gas. And I was like, well, honey, that's a bad thing to need right now because $2 is going to get you
literally
nowhere. You might as well walk at this point.
Put that towards a Razor scooter.
Literally. My dad was like, you need to get a hybrid car because gas is only going to keep going up for the next 3 years. I was like, it can go up more?
I work at H&M. What the fuck do you expect?
I'm not going to get a fucking hybrid. If that is true, if gas is going to be like $10 at some point, I'm getting a fucking Tesla, baby. I'm not doing this hybrid shit because then you still need gas. I'm getting electric vehicle. Mm-hmm. And there's charging stations everywhere in LA, so.
I'm just straight up using that as an excuse for me to never leave my apartment. If gas is $10, I don't need to go anywhere.
It's so ridiculous out here. I spent $60 to fill my tank the other day, and that is an atrocity.
That's insane.
And a crime against humanity. Why can't the oil companies just make less money? That's my question.
I'd like an answer.
Can you just keep the prices the same and then make less money? Because you're already like $1 billion corporation. The rest of us are out here starving I saw an unopened box of Kraft mac and cheese on the street the other day, and I like really, really, really considered taking it home. It's still there. I walk past it like every day on my little walk, my mental health walk, and I'm like,
You just wait. Someone's probably like drugged that and is just watching through like a little camera, just waiting for someone to take it.
Yeah, I think at this point, like, there might be bugs that have gone in for the powdered cheese, but the first day I saw it, you can find a lot of good stuff on the streets of LA. I almost brought home this coffee table that I found the other day, but I thought it might belong. It was like in a place where it could have belonged to somebody. It could have been trash, so I was like,
Rather not get like arrested for stealing a coffee table.
I don't want to ruin someone's day by taking their coffee table, so. But anyways, that was a long-ass check-in. I'm great, and I'm about to be 25. When you guys are listening to this, I'm 25. And that is so scary.
D's wild. Cute time. Join the 25 club.
Okay.
Shall we
get into this?
Yes.
Motherfucker.
I have a little story to start off with.
Please.
My experience starting watching this movie.
Okay.
So I don't know what happens to my streaming services frequently or who has my passwords, but someone is constantly logging into them and changing the subtitles, the languages. Someone's messing with my settings here. So last Friday, I only work half days on Fridays. So I finish up with work. I go in, or like I pull up Disney Plus on my phone, get it going, stream it to my TV, and go in my kitchen to start making my lunch. And as I'm sitting in there, I'm like watching from the bar, and I'm watching the TV because I know that the first like scene that we get is Troy Bolton looking into the screen and yelling, "Let's go!" And then, you know, henceforth the game. And I'm watching that. I see it happening, but then it doesn't sound right. And I'm like, it's probably my hearing. Like, I probably just didn't hear it right because I always think that it's just my hearing. And so then I like go and stand in front of the TV and I'm waiting because I'm like, someone's got to talk again soon. But all like the chatter and everything, like I can't understand any of that either. And I'm kind of like, what is going on here? And then it pans over to Coach Bolton and he's saying something like, "Come on, boys." And it's like completely foreign to me. So I look up and my Disney Plus is streaming in Cantonese. Who the fuck is changing my Disney Plus language to Cantonese?
It's probably your bogus ass neighbor somehow, some way.
Dude, probably. He's probably doing it to fuck with me. I swear, this is not the first time that this has happened, that something is in a different language to me. The way to start out the movie for me. And as soon as that did, I had to Snapchat Katie right away because I was like, bitch, you've witnessed it before when this shit happens. I was like, it's happening again.
I was in the mood for Fear Street, so I watched it, the first one, 94, last night, and remember when we had like, out of nowhere, it just started talking to us. It was like Sarah grips Hannah's hand under the table.
Mm-hmm. It did the, like, descriptive audio subtitles.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that video, it's super funny when that happens because we're both just like, what the fuck? Because I was about to cry, and then it was like Sarah grips Hannah's hand under the table.
And both of us just freeze, like,
And then we were like, what if we had that during the sex scene? Would they like describe it?
I'm curious now. I want to watch like 50 Shades with descriptive audio. Christian chains Anna to the ceiling. I feel like we should do that sometime. Watch those together like that.
Oh my fucking god, that is so funny.
So yeah, that was how I started out my viewing experience this time around. But Katie, I want to know, we typically talk about this with our Disney episodes because these are movies from our childhood. So what was like your earliest memory of High School Musical 3?
I remember seeing it in the theaters with you, maybe.
I think we did go see it together, yeah.
I know we saw this or the Hannah Montana movie in theaters together.
I think it was this one because I know just Allie and I went to the Hannah Montana movie together.
Oh, all right. Then you guys. Thanks for the invite.
I don't think you were like
sounds about right.
I just remember on the way home us chatting on her DS back and forth while my mom was driving us home. So that's why I remember that. But I do think that we went to go see this one together. I think we went with like a group of people.
I think my mom took us. Yeah. But yeah, that's my earliest memory. Theatrical release. It was a big fucking deal. I mean, the first one came out when we were, in like 3rd grade?
Probably.
And then this one came out when we were like about to go into middle school, or already in middle school. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say maybe we were in like 6th grade, 7th grade maybe.
Yeah, and I just remember like seeing the promotions for it. It was everywhere. Like it was a highly anticipated film, especially for our age demographic. It was great. I think the fact that it was a theatrical release, we had a lot of like Disney Channel things that just became so big that they turned into a theatrical release, just like the Lizzie McGuire movie, the Hannah Montana movie. Like something about our generation, we just like really clung to these characters, and I think also they're just really well done. Kenny Ortega is a very talented director, and we were lucky as a generation to have so many films choreographed and produced and directed by him. I don't know, I think I just feel very blessed and like just so much joy like looking back on this, because I as an adult enjoy it, and I'm just like, this was such good cinema that we were like lucky to have targeted towards us at this time. Like not many people take stuff that is targeted towards young people very seriously. I mean, they like put a lot of effort into this, obviously because they knew they would make a lot of money off of it by the 3rd film, but like, I don't know, it's just cool to me, and I'm really happy that it was like part of our youth.
I agree, and you don't see Disney Channel making anything to this scale anymore, or having the popularity that this franchise had. I think even like when you look at Lizzie McGuire movie and Hannah Montana movie, like those were both very successful too, but I think like for a franchise, for like High School Musical, like that was so huge. The movies themselves, the merchandise, like this was everywhere when we were growing up. Then to see them like be able to scale it like that, and this movie had like budget, and this is a perfect example of someone like Kenny Ortega who can make a great film like High School Musical 2 with whatever kind of budget he had for that, but then when you give him more money, what he can do with it and what he created with this. And I agree, I think we are very lucky to have had Kenny Ortega. He did do the Descendants movies. Those are good. I liked those. My nanny kids loved watching those, and I was always like, oh, you want to watch that? I'm good with that. And those are great too, but I think like obviously they never got that popularity that High School Musical did, but I don't think they could ever like recreate that, and I think they've been trying to with the show, and like obviously that's successful, but still like nowhere near the success of this franchise.
Yeah, the fact that it is like long lasting to the point where they brought it back with the Disney Plus original show. I mean, that was a smart move because it catered to multiple generations. Olivia Rodrigo is a very talented woman, but I think just like anybody that is attached to High School Musical, it's like automatic, you're shot up in the ranks. Like it's just crazy that it still has this like lasting impact, which I think a lot of things do with our generation. We're a very nostalgic group of people, so
we are.
Do you want to do standout star, standout scene?
Sure. Why don't you do standout star first?
For this film, Troy Bolton is my standout star. I can't take my eyes off of him in this film. Like genuinely, I have really been grappling with lately, like, do I actually find that man attractive, or is it like gender envy, like with Mr. Chalamet over here to my left? It's very rare that in a film I'm like watching the man. I'm pretty much always watching the woman, just because I'm fruity. I am always watching Zac Efron in this, and it was a surreal experience for me yesterday watching this. Like, I just couldn't take my eyes off him, and it wasn't like I want to be him and like be loving up on Gabriella. Like, no, I want him to be my boyfriend. Honestly, to wrap up this thesis statement, I think that Troy is the reason why I'm a lesbian, because he set the bar for men excruciatingly high, and like I'll get more into it later on, but like I don't know, if it's not him, it's not any man. Period. So
that's your choice, Mom, and you made it. Mom,
if you are listening and you are looking for someone to blame for how I've turned out, I think
you found your scapegoat.
I think you need to talk to Zach and Kenny.
He's an amazing performer in this, and I want to talk about that. Like the elevation of this cast in this film, along with everything else. I feel like this is very on brand that while you chose Troy Bolton, I chose Coach Bolton. Bart Johnson put his whole Bart Hussey into this film and into this role. Every chance that camera got on that man, he was delivering his fucking performance of his lifetime. Johnson, I couldn't take my eyes off of you throughout this whole movie. As I think is kind of like a fair development, because when I was younger, my eyes were only for Troy. And now, as a 25-year-old, I only have eyes for Coach Bolton. And you could just, even like the emotion in his scenes, like the emotions that he tapped into when they're at the beginning in that first musical number, when he's like, come on, boys, get out of here with that. You did not need to go that hard. And you did. And then when they're like in the huddle and they start doing the like this last time to get it right, he's like singing along with them, bopping with them. Bart Johnson, you blew me away.
I want to see him in other things.
I would love to see him in other things.
He's out here doing God knows what, jogging around.
Yeah. If you ever saw him on the sidewalk, I would literally pass out.
Oh no, I would definitely. He's one of the people that I would definitely say something to. Shelby was telling me the other day, we watched Sky High the other night, and she told me about this time that she ran in. Shelby's my roommate, for anybody who doesn't know. She ran into the guy who plays the main character in Sky High at like a video store or something fucking random. It's like some celebrities that you see, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna fucking say anything to them. Like if I saw, not that she would just be out and about by herself, but like Ariana Grande, I would leave that bitch alone. I'd be like, I'm not saying anything to you. But if I saw like Troy Bolton's dad, Allie and AJ, yeah, or like fucking, even like Hillary Duff, even though she's like still pretty like B-list celebrity, I'd still be like, hey now. Fucking love you. Can I please get a picture with you? But yeah, anyways, she ran into the guy who plays the kid in Sky High, and she was like, hey, you're in Sky High. And he was like, yeah, that's so cool. Like, no one recognizes me from that anymore. Aww. And she was just like, that's like one of my favorite movies. And he was like, thanks, that's awesome. And
that's so like nice. I feel like if you're one of those kind, like Troy Bolton's dad, like Bart Johnson, you are Troy Bolton's dad to an entire generation. And I feel like at that point, you just need to kind of embrace it. And you're not Bart Johnson. I love you. Come on the pod. But, like, he's not known for anything else enough to be like, oh, I don't want to be referred to by that, you know? And, like, some people get kind of pretentious like that, of being like, I don't want to be known as this one character. So, like, if I ever saw Mr. Mosby out in public, I'd be like, it's Mr. Mosby, because that's who he is to us. Like, he's not, it's not like Zac Efron, where, like, yes, he's Troy Bolton, but then he's also, like, a ton of other roles, and, like, we know him as other things. So, I loved that one TikTok from forever ago, or, like, that Twitter video, where he ran over to that car and said, get your head in the game. Because it's, like, you know your audience, and you know what you're known for, and you embrace it. And
that's sexy within itself, like, when people embrace what we all know them as, even if it's not something super, like, highbrow. You know, you're not fucking Zendaya out here, like, Disney Channel to Emmys. Best show on television. Like, even Rob Pattinson, how he just, like, fully embraces Twilight and just, like, everything from his past. And Kristen Stewart, too, just how they're, like, it was what it was, and I did my shit, and, like, it's funny, and it made a huge impact on a very, like, large generation of people. It's, like, the humility. I find that very, like, respectable.
Like, these were I'm not saying that Bart Johnson was an influencer, but in a way he was.
He influences you now.
He does. He really does. He totally enhanced my viewing experience this time around. So between the two Boltons, done deal. My eyes were stolen for the entire movie by the two of them.
I mean, I think that Daddy Bolton is very cute. But like Troy, I don't know. He is so cute in this.
He is. I think he's looking like his best. I think this and 17 again, because I think they were like around similar times, is like one of his best eras. He is looking so good in this. His hair is on absolute point.
Charlie St. Cloud.
Oh,
shut the fuck bitch. Up. I don't know. I just, like, every era of him, I love. You know how, like, some people are, like, Harry Styles eras? Like, every era. Yeah. Obviously, Harry Styles is a very attractive man. But, like, every era of Zac Efron is perfect. Like, frat boy Zac when he's in Neighbors.
That's movies. Not even normally, like, my typical type. Like, that and, like, Baywatch, like, that really, really buff kind of look. Like, I do not find that attractive at all. But on him, I'm still loving it. I think he's just, like, a universal love for me. Even his blonde hair moment when he had blonde hair for a while, I was still like, you could get it. Like,
when did
you
he
still
have
look
blonde
great.
hair?
You don't remember that?
Oh, wait, yeah, I do. It was like bleach blonde.
Yeah.
Ooh, what was that even for?
I literally don't remember. I think maybe when he was like hiking in the mountains. Like, because he's an adventure guy. Like, he did one of those Bear Grylls episodes. And I remember I literally watched Bear Grylls for a season because it was like him and Michelle Rodriguez on it. And I needed to get like my 2 crushes in.
Yeah, well, he has that like Netflix show now where he's just like out doing trying new things, and he's like that grizzly scruffy. Oof, baby, I love him.
Still looking hot.
Also, just real quick, another standout star for me is just the women in this as a collective unit. I really love moments like when Taylor gets asked to prom and they all like coming together like, what should we do? The women as a collective group, you guys know, if you're a listener of the pod, I just love like groups of women and the dynamic within that. I just love female friendship, and it's very fortified in this film because obviously the actresses are most likely at this point like all friends. So
yeah,
appreciate. What's your standout scene? Do you have one?
I do, but it's a song. So, like, should I still go into it?
You can. I did, because, like, obviously, same with me. Like, my standout scene would be a song, but I chose a dialogue scene to do standout scene. But, like, obviously, my favorite scene is one of the songs.
Well, then, let me think of a dialogue. Why don't you go first and let me think of a dialogue scene, and then we'll get into songs later.
Yes. So, the scene of dialogue that is my favorite. Granted, like, the dialogue in this film is probably the weakest point. It is at the end of, like, if anything shows that this is a decom, it's the dialogue. But for me, the best one is when Troy goes and surprises Gabby at Stanford and he says, "My prom is wherever you are."
That was cute.
Shut the fuck up. As someone who consistently finds themselves in long distance relationships, and I don't know why, that's one for the psychologist to decipher. I just really resonate with that moment. And when he says to Chad, like, "My prom, I'm still gonna enjoy my prom," or something, and then he's like, "My prom is wherever you are." I just, that's what I mean. Like, the bar for men is too high.
Yeah.
With Troy Bolton. Like, the fact that he was like, "Margarita pizza, just how you like it," when he's like pulling up that picnic basket, baby.
Cute.
The men that we went to high school with didn't even know what a margarita pizza was.
No.
Like,
they would literally not know how to fashion a rope to like bring it up to a second level. There is no way they had the brains for that.
Yeah, he is just literally the perfect man. And for me, the perfect man doesn't exist. So
yeah, she rolling with the LGBT.
Yeah.
Yes, you're so right. That pizza scene is so cute when they do that. The only other like dialogue scene that I'm really like thinking stands out right now is either like when Chad leaves at the end of graduation and him and Troy have that moment when they're playing basketball. Like, that's just a nice touching moment, because even though obviously like Troy and Gabriella's relationship is a main focus of these movies, like the friendship between like Troy and Chad and Gabriella and Taylor, like those are still important relationships to the movie overall. And I like that we got that sense of like closure between the two of them, and it's like a very real world kind of like friendship obstacle to overcome, and I always appreciate that. But yeah, so maybe that, or else like in the locker room at the beginning, the little like speech in there. I just feel like all those men were like very emotional in that moment, and Katie and I love seeing men get emotional. Either of those two scenes were great.
I also really like the part when Ryan asked Kelsey to prom.
Yeah, I think I would like that more if it wasn't for the fact that it's like this character is so clearly supposed to not be taking a girl to prom. Like, come on. If this was made now, there's no way that Ryan would have been taking Kelsey.
Yeah, in my mind, they're going as friends.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, I feel like Kelsey is gonna find a man in college. Like, her person is definitely not in high school, and Ryan is just kind of like, you're the dopest girl in this school, so I'm gonna fucking take you.
Cute.
I'm gonna come out as gay as soon as we graduate.
Yeah.
So that's how it is in my mind, and that's why I love that scene so much. There are some good dialogue moments. Also, the Mrs. Darbus scene when she's like, "It was me who submitted you."
Actually, that is my fucking favorite dialogue scene. I love that moment between the two of them. That is so good. It does a lot for Troy's character, and it also shows like a very serious side to Miss Darbus that we don't ever get, because she's always like very theatrical and big and like has all this flair. And in that moment when she's like, "And I do apologize if I overstepped," it was just like a very, like, there is a person behind the character, like not in the sense of like behind the character itself, but like the character character of Miss Darbus, you know?
Yeah, and it like feeds into that kind of feud between like basketball and theater and the feud between Coach Bolton and Mrs. Darbus. We ranking the songs. Should we go 12-1?
Should we go into that now? Yeah, let's do it. So let's go let's go bottom to top. So at the bottom of the list is the senior year spring musical, because I didn't even know what that was when I first looked it up, and I had to like play a little bit of it. Exactly that. It's forgettable to me.
My number 12 is We're All in This Together, the like slowed down version. I just don't find it very exciting. I mean, I appreciate the callback to the first film. I'm glad that it was incorporated into this film somehow, but like it's not super enjoyable for me. I mean, Troy's like speaking over half of it in the movie, so.
Yeah, that's my number 11, because once again, it's like it doesn't top the original. Like if you're gonna do like a remake of it, I feel like it should kind of elevate it, and it didn't. Like it was fine. I like that they did it. I think it was a great call in there, but again, like I would never listen to that version over the original.
My number 11 is Walk Away. I love this song. I mean, I love the like soulful aspect of it, and as far as like Gabby's song goes, it's more of like an upbeat version. But I mean, if we're talking Gabby's songs, Gotta Go My Own Way, baby. It's nothing can top that shit.
No.
So as far as like her solos go, I would kind of rank this as like obviously below Gotta Go My Own Way, and then I don't really know like first and third one. I feel like the plots of the first and third movie are very similar. Gabby's struggle is also kind of similar to her struggle in the first movie, so like these solos are very similar. It's just like I gotta walk away. Yeah, it's fine. It's just kind of like how we talked about with the Cheetah Girls, like the penultimate song, like Amigas Cheetahs in the second one is not comparable to whatever the like penultimate song is in the first movie.
Wait, is it the We Are Sisters one?
Oh yeah, We Are Sisters.
I feel like that stands
together.
out. Those are both good, but Amigas Cheetahs
They both
is
do.
elevated.
Yeah, when I think of like the Cheetah Girls, I think Amigas Cheetahs.
I'm so sad that we never did like a Cheetah Girls Halloween costume where we all dressed up in the sweatsuits.
There's still time.
Number 10, I had Walk Away. My least favorite Gabriella solo. You can't pass this up, Gotta Go My Own Way. That is number 1. And I like When There Was Me and You from the first movie, but again, like not my favorite, but I think it's definitely better than Walk Away. I don't like this song really whatsoever, and the only thing that I like about it is the fact that Vanessa Hudgens is singing it, because she has an incredible voice, so I just like listening to her sing, but the song itself is a no.
My number 10 is The Boys Are Back. I just don't really, I mean, I like the song. I like the dancing. I think Corbin Bleu and Zac Efron are very talented dancers. However, its position in the film, it just like kind of takes me out every time.
My number 9 is Just Want to Be With You. I think it's a solid song. I love the Troy and Gabrielle duet, but I think out of their duets in this one, like this one is towards the bottom, obviously, of my list, because it's at the bottom of my list. I don't know, like it's good, but as a song itself, like I just don't love it. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say. I just don't love it.
My number 9 is The Spring Musical. I think it's just because like it's basically a recreation of all the songs that we've already seen in the film. I like it, but I fucking hate Let's Dance. Fuck you. Get out. No one. I fucking can't. And then Rocket Man.
If I ever saw that bitch.
Oh! I wanna do it. This sounds like fucking Pete Davidson just came into the chat.
It's so bad.
I want.
Don't disrespect Pete like that. Pete would never.
But it sounds like him, does it not? When he's just like, oh, I wanna do.
I fucking hate Rocket Man so much.
Me too. I don't enjoy him.
No, I hate all of the like new people that they tried to like set up here. My number 8 is High School Musical. I think it's a great number. I love that we got like the title and the song itself. I think this song, like the lyrics to it are all great. Like it's a great send off, a perfect finale song. I just think in the grand scheme of this amazing collective group of songs, it just does fall towards the bottom of my list, but I don't, like it's not down towards the bottom for any particular reason other, just I like other ones more.
My number 8 is Now or Never. I obviously love this number. It's a great way to start off the film, but I wouldn't listen to it like in my free time. I like it like cinematically, but not necessarily as like a song, if that makes sense. I think Gabby's part where she's like, try, that's the best shit ever. So dramatic. It's time to turn it up. Game on. He is so fine.
Come on, boys, come on. Okay, bitch.
The way we play tonight is what we leave behind. Oh, it's so good.
Down
Yeah.
to right now, it's up
It's
to
up
us.
to us. What's your number 7?
Number 7 is Right Here, Right Now. Again, out of the Troy and Gabby duets, it's a good one. It's enjoyable. It's cute that they're like wanting to live in the moment for their senior year. I think the lyrics are perfect for where they're at in their relationship when they're singing it. But again, just like not my favorite.
Yeah, my number 7 is High School Musical. What Michaela just said, I agreed with everything that she talked about, but I do really love Chad and Taylor's verse because they don't get a whole lot of verses in the collective songs with Injustice. They're both very talented vocalists. I just like their verse. I would skip to it in the song if I could because
I had a note about them in my like regular notes when we got to that scene that their moment in the finale, they milked every second of that moment and made it the best part of that whole song. When she like grabs the back of his head and they're like singing at each other. Get out.
I have a lot of notes about Chad and Taylor later on, but like that is really good. Also about The Boys Are Back, like Corbin Blue is very into that number and he's like, you want me to dance because I'm gonna fucking dance. And there's one moment when like the move, they're both like this, it's towards the end, and Zach is just like hands down, but he's like putting his whole pussy into it like
Dude, his hips in this, like, I noticed his hip work more than anything else in his dancing, and it's insane. He's an incredible dancer. Not saying that he should have won Dancing with the Stars, because he's on the season with Amber Riley, and she was incredible. Like, she deserved to win, too. But honestly, they should have had, like, dual winners that season, because they were both so insanely good.
He's super, super talented. His body in this, too, like, just because he was the youngest in the cast, he makes, like, the biggest transition, I feel like, because he's literally going through puberty like throughout the filming of these films, and like him in the third film compared to him in the first film, it's like he's like a cute little guy in the first one, but in the last one he is like a man. He's very filled out and he's very talented. Sorry to backtrack to Boys Are Back, but
no, it's fine. I have lots of notes on Boys Are Back. So.
I love the line, into the future we all free fall, but forever we'll always have high school.
So good.
They killed it.
What were we at? Oh, number 6. Number 6. Is this really my number 6? Shit, I think, like, these top 6 songs, like, they're all, like, I feel like I could almost put them in, like, a lot of, because I love them all. But number 6 is gonna go to I Want It All. I do think that this is fabulous on steroids. Like, I think the number is absolutely fantastic. I do think it's probably my favorite song of Sharpay's, even though, you know what, no, I think Fabulous still stands as my favorite. It's just all, like, classic Sharpay. But I Want It All is amazing, but I think as a song itself, like, you said, like, would I ever listen to this? No, but I think it's, like, a number and the theatrics of it, I love to watch it visually. And I think it's just perfect. I love it. It totally encompasses Sharpay's character. Like, whoever wrote this was right on the money with it.
My number 6 is A Night to Remember, a fun-loving song. The choreography, again, really stands out in this section, and I like the practical sets, like, moving off the stage and how it's incorporated into their musical, but also, like, the musical is, like, a reflection of what they're actually going through as people and how they integrate that in.
Yeah, my number 5 is A Night to Remember. I do think it's a great number. I think the choreography itself is one of the best out of all of these numbers. I think it's really, really strong. And having so many people, and especially like pairs dancing, but then also then when they're split up on the opposite side and the guys are in the suits and the girls are in the dresses, like I just think visually, like it looks good. And it's just like a fun group number. And I love the numbers when they're all together. Number 4 is Now or Never. I think it's a great way to start the movie. It got me so jazzed. I think it's great that we started.
Wait, did you do 5?
Yeah, 5 was A Night to Remember.
Oh, I didn't do my number 5.
Oh, you didn't do your 5. Oh, what's your 5? My bad.
My 5 is Scream.
Katie, you did not put Scream at number 5.
I'm sorry. It's a great showcase of Zac Efron's talents as a performer, and I love him, and I really relate. Every time I have to make a decision, I feel like I'm singing that number, and the hallways are spinning. I'm just like...
There is so
What's
much
the right team?
inspiration that Sam Levinson took from High School Musical 3. Actually, I think this was his blueprint for Euphoria, because not only did he take the spinning room scene, but also the play and, like, what's in the play, what's in real life. Like, that's what he tried to do with Lexi's play, but he didn't execute it as flawlessly as Kenny Ortega did in this.
Babe, you are literally onto something there. Wow, I didn't even think about that.
Sam Levinson, we're on to you. How many times is this in your watch history?
Literally.
Okay. So my number 4 is Now or Never. I think it's a great way to get the movie going. I think to especially start the movie out with a song, like, this is the song to do it with. It got me jazzed. It's a great number. We have, like, everyone involved in the scene. And the try part, get out. It's so good.
Yeah.
And also Zac Efron just being, like, sweaty. Thank you.
They knew the prepubescent audience that they were dealing with.
Yeah.
When they started the film that way.
Yeah.
With him just, like, flipping his hair.
Sweaty hair.
Like,
oh my
that
God.
was in the time when flippy hair was the total vibe. We're
Yes.
talking Justin Bieber, the Sprouse twins. Everybody
Jonas
had
Brothers.
Mitchell Musso. Everybody had the flippy hair, and to have it wet, baby. You knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
Is Kenny Ortega gay?
I don't know. But he's for the
gotta
gays
be.
if he's not.
Okay, I think the reason why our lists are so different, and I think this is very interesting, because normally our lists are relatively the same,
Yeah.
but I think my Hopeless Romantic is very much showing in my list, whereas you're, like, just good music.
I'm just trying to
appreciate and it's showing.
Yeah.
But my number 4 is Right Here, Right Now. I love the love songs in this, and I feel that Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens' chemistry is very palpable in all of these films, but in this one it is the most solidified. It is the most well developed. It's very strong. That's why all of their love songs are in my top 4.
I think I know what your number 1 is gonna be. Okay, my number 3 is The Boys Are Back. This scene deserves whatever award it is that musical numbers can get. If it's an Oscar, it needs an Oscar. If it's some other award, it needs whatever. I love this song in this scene so much. And once again, they knew what they were doing when they put Troy Bolton in a bandana like that and had him, like, prancing around, getting, like, a little dirty with, like, oil and stuff. Come on. I think the choreography is great. I think Corbin Bleu and Zac Efron work so well together, and I think their dancing together is so good. And then when they have the, like, mini-me's come out, I love the break dancing. Like, everything about this scene is a fucking smash for me, and I love it. Corbin Bleu is such a strong dancer. I feel like he really pushed Zac Efron in this moment, and, like, he rose to the caliber of Corbin Bleu in this. That, like, truly my eyes, like, ping-ponged back and forth between them the whole entire time, because they're both so good, and they're both just hot.
My number 3 is Just Want to Be With You. I find this song very good. I love that. This is just a small detail that I appreciate, but normally Troy has the harmony and Gabriella has the main vocals, but with this one, this is the song in the spring musical version that Juilliard is like, that is Troy Bolton. And in this song, he has the main vocals and Gabby is the one who's harmonizing, and I just think that was such a good decision because Troy is just really, like, into this song, and it's one of those moments where it's like, yeah, this guy really does love theater, and, like, he's good at it, and you can tell he loves it, you can tell he's good at it. And then also just this relationship, like, between the two of them, he does just want to spend all of his time with her and she him, and it's just, like, relatable, honestly, because you feel the time running out. Hang out with the person that you're gonna be missing. I really love this song.
That Juilliard lady also wanted to fuck Troy Bolton.
And probably the Juilliard man.
Probably. Number 1 and number 2, like, this is asking for me to, like, choose between, like, my 2 babies in this movie. Like, both of these scenes are, like, what I remember out of this movie the most, and, like, what I used to watch on repeat over and over and over again. I did put Can I Have This Dance at number 2. This song is, it's, I think, the best Troy and Gabriella duet by, like, I think it even I think it beats Breaking Free for me. Like, I love that. I think it's, like, a classic. But in terms of, like, the song, the choreography, the singing, the lyrics, everything, this is, like, where it's at for me. I love the waltz. It's my favorite. It's, like, one of my favorite styles on Dancing with the Stars. When whoever is like, we're dancing Viennese waltz this week, I'm like, thank God. Because it's, like, it's just one of my favorite dance styles. So I love that they're waltzing. I think I love the rooftop scene. The two of them just have such good chemistry. They're so in love. They work so well together. I think their vocals in this, they both kill it. Like, truly, this scene is like perfection for me from start to finish. And I couldn't even tell you how many times I've watched this scene over the course of my life because I just, I love it. I think it's a great number.
It really is. It is also my number 2. I think as far as duets go, it doesn't get much better than this. Again, the harmony is like, my favorite part of this song is, even 1,000 miles can't keep us apart, 'cause my heart is wherever you are. And then that like feeds into the dialogue later of my promise wherever you are. Oh, it's good. I can. Yeah, I don't really have much else to add. It's an amazing, amazing number. And again, the bar is so high. Like, men are not doing this shit.
No. And I love his outfit in that he's in like that t-shirt with the suit jacket over it and the jeans and the like Converse. It's a look.
Shut up. And then him with the jeans too in Scream.
So let's get into that because Scream is my number 1. This song fed into my sexual awakening watching this. I remember being like entranced by it, watching it the first time. I think it is so good. I think it so showcases Zac Efron's talent as a performer, because we already know he can sing, we already know he can dance, but to be able to carry a number like this, like Bet on It, he served in that, but this was like just an entire step up in like choreography and just like performance level. It's so good. I love the lightning. I love him in his jersey with the jeans. His hair is perfect. The angst, the emotion that he has when he's like, I'm kicking down, and he's like kicking the lockers and stuff. It's all just so good. It's so well done. Zac Efron, you put every ounce of energy into this scene, and it did not go unappreciated by anyone who watched it. And I just think as a song too, like the song is good too.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can definitely acknowledge that. My number 1 is I Want It All. I think just as a person who has been a big dreamer since I was a young little child, seeing this song of like 2 high school people being like, theater is our entire lives, performance is our entire lives, and it's this or nothing. Like, we want to be the best of the best or fucking nothing. I like the song, you know, like it's a good song, but then also within the film, like this is my favorite part of the film because I like that Sharpay and Ryan are not necessarily like villains, and they're redemptive in all of these films, especially Sharpay.
They just have goals. They have
they have goals, and they get their moment. Like, even though, like, I feel like this song is a testament to all theater kids and all people who just might be seen as like, you're too much, you're a lot, but it's like, yeah, if you want less, then go find less. Period. This is the most theatrical number of the entire film. I love how all the other characters are like set pieces within this, and Gabby's like, it's Oprah calling, and Taylor is like, or Kelsey is their cab driver, and Chad is the police officer, and Troy is obsessed with Sharpay. Just their fantasy within all of this, and then the choreography, like the part where she has the bobbed wig and the sequin unitard. I can't. Like, she is so sexy in that moment when she's like, I want it. Shut up. It is so well done. The best moment. And just like the fact that the villains, I say in quotes, get this like whole number. It's amazing.
Well, villain numbers are always some of the best numbers. Like, look at Disney movies. Like, some of the, like, I love Be Prepared from Lion King, Scar's whole song. Like, villains always, I feel like, get a great moment. And I think that's why I always like villains. I'm like, they always have these awesome moments. But, yeah, even though Sharpay and Ryan aren't, like, villains. But I think the bob and the sequence unitard was, like, a little ahead of its time. For at least for me, when I was younger, I remember seeing that and being like, I don't really like that. Like, I just think, you know, I wasn't, like, that wasn't the style that I was looking for as like a 6th grader. But now I'm like, that outfit, she should have been wearing that the whole time. Like, that is, they had a moment with that.
It very much reminds me of like Chicago and Roxy's little like fantasies. They, again, it's just like, that is the performance of a lifetime for these 2 actors. Like, that is insane. It's incredible what they were able to achieve with this. So, I love it.
All right, now that we've spent literally an hour without even getting into any notes.
Sorry.
No, I mean, we've talked about a lot already. Now, are we ready to kind of go back to other miscellaneous notes?
Yeah. Will you die if I pee? Get another drink.
Go pee. I'm gonna, just lay back.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Starting with forget the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Disney Channel Cinematic Universe of Ally and AJ pumping their music through the party. This in the crossovers that Disney Channel used to do. I love that they make a nod to other things or their other artists in their projects.
Yeah.
And I just loved that detail of having Ally and AJ.
The Woe song. Also, just the anticipation that the flashing bulbs at the beginning builds, it's unmatched. They really knew what they were doing.
I'd like to know what the budget was for High School Musical 1, High School Musical 2, and then High School Musical 3. I want to see how it increased, My next note is, what do you think Sharpay had to do to get a reserved parking spot?
True. Okay, that was something that I also had a note about. I really love that the film just knows itself in this section, Sharpay having her own lunch that is specialized and catered to her
Two
dual lockers. Yeah, I mean, when I tell you I needed that and I wanted that, who do I talk to? The fact that this is just a public school, because it's not it's a private institution where her parents could be giving more money so that their kid does get this stuff. It's just she is that bitch. Yeah. She will be getting 2 lockers that are painted hot pink. She will be getting her own reserved parking spot for her Lambo. She will be getting her own lunch. Yeah. And her own personal assistant senior year.
Yeah.
I just like that it's over the top like that. Same with Troy having his own poster in the cafeteria. What? I know that a lot of high schools glorify athletes, and our high school definitely did, but not to that scale. Where they maybe colleges do that, but at least in small town Wisconsin, we weren't on that level.
Thank God. Could you have imagined?
Ew, no.
Literally puke. Yeah, I just love that, and that we don't really get an explanation for why Sharpay gets this. It's just that she does.
I think the explanation is just her personality. I think her whole entrance into this film too is so great because it's the last film in the trilogy, the fabulous theme behind her, introducing her, and then the slow pan up for her sparkly sequins outfits and her car, and then everybody's reaction to her walking past them in school. It's just, I love her as a character. I love Sharpay.
If I ever saw a Tiara Gold, it's on site. I hate her so much. I hate all of those one-off, her and Rocket Man. They add literally nothing except annoyance to this film. Yeah. They are the absolute downside to these movies.
I think they were a product.
You should try it sometime. Fuck off.
I think they are a product, especially Rocket Man, of that random era that was the 2010s of I'm so awkward. It's Rocket Man is just random and weird, and he goes by Rocket Man, and he's just goofy, and it's just, now it's so outdated and so dumb. But even at the time, I was all right.
I mean, we've already kind of touched on this, but just again reiterating the fact that this movie shows off the talent of all of these actors and that they're all genuinely talented. I feel they could have gotten put in this box of being oh, they're just Disney Channel actors, but they all showed that they have genuine talent in singing, dancing, and acting. They are all strong across the board. Our main 6, there's not a weak one in the bunch in those areas. And I just think it showed with this level of budget that they could rise to the caliber of the film itself.
Yeah, especially talking about the 6, I feel within the first 2 movies, a lot of it was focused on Sharpay, Ryan, Troy, and Gabriella, but I like how in this film, Chad and Taylor kind of get their moment a little bit more. And I love Taylor's character from the beginning when she's telling them all about the prom, and she's so don't be the last to get your ticket. Yeah. Because it's just, everybody knows that girl in school that was just involved in everything and very passionate about everything. And I like her and Chad's dynamic of he's still the jock and he's still kind of making fun of the people that are very invested in yearbook and prom and student council, but it's a lighthearted dynamic between the two of them when they're in the homeroom. He's like, what's the lunch special? And she's like,
New York Deli.
it's just cute. I love their dynamic and their verse in the
cute.
final thing. And their little moment when Troy and Gabriella are in the treehouse and they're on the swings. I like that we see that they have their own thing. I feel like in this film we're reminded a lot that they do have their own relationship and they're not just supporting characters to Troy and Gabriella, that they are thinking about their futures too. And Chad is just like, you know, she's going to Yale, I'm going to AU, so like...
I had a renewed appreciation for them in this movie, and I think just their chemistry after A Christmas Dance or whatever that Christmas movie was. I think I was more watching for their chemistry in this one, and it is really strong in that they did get more highlighted moments. And I just like that all of the men in this movie are so whipped. They are all bottoms in this, and I live for that.
How Gabby at the beginning gives Troy the puppy dog eyes, and then he's like, I'm in, and then everybody follows suit.
I wouldn't want to go to college early either if I was Gabby.
Yeah, no.
I don't blame her.
But I do like how Taylor's like, bitch, you are not putting off Stanford for this man. Like,
yeah,
what,
now
you're
that,
gonna go to Arizona University? No.
Wardrobe in this for a high school or for a Disney Channel film, I think the wardrobe is pretty solid across the board. However, whoever dressed Taylor needs to have no, they shouldn't have been allowed, because why is she wearing like ties that only go to like the top of her boobs, and she's wearing like very mom outfits, and it's like, I get it that she's like a responsible student who like wants to be president, and you know what, she would never let us get in the situation that we are in our country if Taylor was president. But her wardrobe, they just totally aged her in this, where like Gabrielle gets all like the fun, light, flirty dresses, and Sharpay gets like kind of like the hot in style outfits, and then she's literally being dressed like she shops at like Dress Barn.
Yeah, so true. Justice for Taylor. Also, I just want to shout out okay. Love that for me. No, I want to shout out Casey Stroh, commenting on our TikTok almost a year ago. Her abilities as a dancer really shines in this film. She is always like, if you notice in the group numbers, front and center, like at the very last number when they're all singing High School Musical, she is right in the middle behind Zach and Vanessa. And I just think that's a testament to her abilities as a dancer, and you can see on TikTok now she's still shaking that thing, and she's a very talented dancer. And Casey, if you're listening, which you're probably not, but I mean, you're the only celebrity that has ever noticed us. Please come on the pod. Like, that has been a literal highlight of my life, and LYLAS.
Out of any guest that we could we want a Disney person. We want a Disney Channel person on the pod.
Yes, we would really love to have you. We don't have much to offer financially, but I would put forth some sort of compensation.
Maybe we send you like Uber Eats that night. We send you dinner.
Yeah.
The night we record.
I'm in LA, so you can just come on over.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to come over to my apartment that is literally under the freeway, but if you want to come on over, I'm right off the 101.
Yeah.
So
you can decorate to me.
Yeah.
All of Zac Efron's jumps in his musical numbers, my wink ankles say no. There is simply no way I would be able to do any number of those jumps. I have the weakest ankles I seem to exist.
This is so true, Michaela. So true. Michaela breaks her ankles every year, like twice a year. And she doesn't go to the doctor because she doesn't like the doctor.
I am 100% convinced, for sure, at least this one time, that I legitimately did break or fracture my ankle, and I never went into the doctor. But it hurt for like 2 months. It took so long for it to heal.
Yeah, it was deformed and purple. What was that, like 2018?
It was my senior year of college. Because it was
2019.
It was like, just rub it in, why don't you? I think I had 2 bad accidents that year, because one of them happened on my birthday birthday party. That one you were there for, because you guys left me across the street at 7-Eleven and ran across the crosswalk, and I stepped off and rolled it. And so that one was bad, because then we had that brewery tour after, remember?
Yeah.
And that was bad. And then one night was after I got, was it 4 job rejections in like 24 hours, that then me and my roommate Rachel went out to our favorite bar and got really drunk, or I got really drunk, and they have a patio outside of this bar, and it has a single step, and I just did not see that step. That is when I'm for sure that it broke, because I literally couldn't walk on it, and I was trying to be like cool about it. Anyways, so all I could see when I was watching him jumping around was my ankles just rolling and snapping.
Well, he's like jumping on cement stairs during Scream, so it's like, how are you doing that?
Did you see how many stairs he jumped down? I remember when I was younger, I counted at one point. I don't remember what it was now, but he jumped down like almost a whole entire flight of stairs. Yeah, he's doing the most. And kind of along with that note, that I think that Scream should be mandatory viewing for everyone in the world, and also Zac Efron earned his estimated $3 to $5 million that he was paid for that movie. He earned it with that scene alone. Like, I would have given him $5 million just for that scene.
Oh yeah, that is definitely a $5 million scene. The one part of this movie that I don't really appreciate is, again, it's a Rocket Man scene, but like when Troy and Chad steal their clothes, like, that's bullying. There's other Disney Channel films where that happens, where it's like the bully doing that, so it's like, why are we doing that? It's just not chill. Like, they're freshmen, they're new to the school. It's not chill.
They started hazing already. I had a note here that I loved Troy and Miss Darbus's conversation. We don't need to repeat it, but my other note with that was that I still wish that we got a Coach Bolton / Miss Darbus fanfic, and I did in fact look it up to see if there was one. I didn't find one. There are a ton about Chad and Ryan, but none about Miss Darbus and Troy and Coach Bolton. And honestly, I think that's lacking. I'd be interested to see that. And my last note that I have is just, once again, we are Team Sharpay here, and she is serious about the theater. And honestly, this never angered me before, but the fact that she is up on stage giving it her all, like having a performance in front of people, doing what you love, and then Rocket Man comes up, like this fucking fool comes up and just makes a mockery of everything, misses his cue, and then like harasses her in the middle of the stage and just embarrassing her. And I think it's trash. I bet he never even graduated, and I bet he works at and I could see him working at like a Rue 21 or something forever, and that being like, all right,
relax, bitch, relax, not retail.
What do you see him doing in his? I can see him working at like Rue 21, trying to like upsell their nasty perfume that they have in there, being like, oh, it gives me so many girls.
I could see him working at Zoomies, or I could see him working at one of those like cell phone kiosks.
Oh, the cell phone kiosk is a read. Trying to sell like bedazzled phone cases.
yeah, in like a dying Midwestern mall.
Like, I pictured him at the mall, Katie, like our mall, you know, like working in there somewhere. Not H&M. There's nothing against retail. There's nothing against people working in retail or people that work in malls, but I think there are certain places in the mall that it's like I could just picture this certain individual working, and I think it's a fair assessment.
I must say, I do feel like I'm like raised up in the H&M world working in Century City rather than a literal dying Midwestern mall. Like, the mall I work at is poppin', and everybody who shops there is like, money is no object to them, and met some very interesting individuals, and I appreciate my time there. No shade to anybody working at the mall, but I would like to work not at the mall. And I would like to not work, period. Sorry, Kim Kardashian, but I just don't like working.
I already feel like I'm going to call into work tomorrow.
This is taking a lot out of you.
It is. And the tasks that I have to do tomorrow are like calling to find like rooms for like at hotels to like book our, and it's like that work will be there later in the week. Like, I can't fathom trying to do that right now.
Take a sick day.
I hate that moment with Rocket Man that he does that to Sharpay, because Sharpay is truly the only one, like her and Ryan, like being up on stage is like their favorite thing to do, and like to then see someone like make a joke out of that, it's just rude. I wouldn't like someone coming in to like, or someone like making fun of my books, you know, like something like that it's like I'm very passionate about. I feel bad for her in that moment.
Yeah, I think like she has the biggest injustice in all the films, but especially in this one, like it's her fucking senior year, bro. And she, like, drama is her life. Like, the theater department is her life. So, like, to have that taken away by all these people who are, like, don't really care about it that much, it's fucked up. I don't have any more notes. I mean, I love that he chooses the school that is 30 minutes away from Gabby.
Yeah,
the sun will always shine. That's how you make me feel. We'll be alright, cause what we have is real.
Cute. And we will always
be together.
No, did I just clear? Oh, thank God. Yes, such vibes.
Period. Did it.
We
And
did
now
have.
I'm drunk and it's literally only 3:30. So I will have to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my day. Because there's a lot of day left for me over here.
Just keep the buzz going.
I might just go for a walk. I think I'm going to make myself a sandwich.
All right, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.
LYLAS babies.